Hello and welcome to the Too Much Time on Our Hands podcast. If you are watching us on the YouTube live stream, hello everyone, wave, just wave to them, wave. Thanks very much for joining us on the stream. If you're also listening to us on the audio version of the podcast, no matter what platform you chose, Spotify, iTunes, whatever, it's totally up to you. Thanks also for choosing to listen to us after the stream. Maybe you want to watch the stream next time. So, as we all know, we're just after Christmas. We're just in the very end of the Christmas gooch, which is a saying that Russ has been using for a while, and I have stolen shamelessly to describe the bit between Christmas and New Year. You could also call it the festive taint if you want to, because it taint New Year, it taint Christmas. 2020 has been a bit of a shitter, everyone. So basically, this entire podcast is going to be dedicated to us talking about the things that got us through 2020. And if you're on the live stream right now, please do feel free to throw in all the things that helped you get through this utter disaster of a year. And with that, I'm going to hand over to our Master of Ceremonies, Dan, to kick the whole thing off.
It's worth mentioning this was actually Duncan's idea. I don't know whether he wants to kick it off or whether I should do it.
And if you don't mind me saying, I think it's worth saying that this was Duncan's idea.
I'll kick it off because the look on his eye said that he wasn't prepared for that, and I maybe should have told him.
So what I've got this. Don't worry. I remember. It's not that I completely forgot, and then dropping it on me was so
look on your face was hilarious. Like
it's fine. So I thought it was a collaborative effort between Dan and myself because we thought we could go through like the programs because there's been so much. 2020 has felt like it's gone on forever, apart from the NFL season, which broke it up for Dan and I, and that means that actually the last 3 months have gone pretty quick. But what other things that we've been doing that have kind of kept us sane? Vaguely sane, I don't know, maybe vaguely functioning humans, and in relation to like what we do on TMTOOH, which is talking bollocks about stuff like TV programs, films, games.
Oh, don't limit us. There's no end of things that we can talk bollocks about.
We're good at that. It can be as
building computers.
Yeah, exactly. It can be as broad or specific as you like, as well. I thought just anything that's kind of got you through the year. Because when you get to the end of the year, I've picked up a couple of new hobbies. I know that much. Mostly because I've all of a sudden been
going left-handed now. Are you as well?
Gets a little more talk with the left hand.
No, well, it just feels like someone else, doesn't it?
You do know why Dan has been practicing yoga? It's just so he can get the feet up.
Practicing yoga? You've seen me. I'm a potato. Like, there's no way that I could, like, even at my most fit, there is no way I could have done yoga. And this year,
I believe most yogis would disagree and actually say that anyone can do it. That's what they're called, like the bear.
Seriously?
Yeah. If you are a yoga teacher, you're a yogi.
Fuck off. Just yeah, sure, okay.
Well, that's 25% of the 25% of the population of the southeast has just been alienated.
Dan obviously doesn't look at our demographics, but it's basically all yoga instructors that watch this.
Hi you.
No, you'll
better not be shitting on halloumi because come on,
no, halloumi's great.
What's not to like?
Yeah. There are certain middle class things I'll definitely take on.
Halloumi always, for me, whenever anyone offers it to me, I can't help but think of that moment in Peep Show where they go, Jez and Superhands get booked to that Christian rock festival, and he's just like, you just open your mouth, people will throw stuff in, a pill, a nipple, nice bit of halloumi, lovely.
But yeah, so 2020, it's been shit, but we've done quite a lot of fun things because it's been shit to take our mind off the fact that it's shit. Maybe.
Should we get it out of the way? Should we get one out of the way straight away?
Go on then.
We do.
Yeah. Changing it up, doing a live stream, changing up like some of the subjects we do, like thinking outside the box a bit, trying to get other people involved. And if you're watching tonight, we want to know what got you through 2020 as well. So hit us up on the chat.
Just chatting shit with three mates has always been...
Yeah.
It's just been nice to talk about something completely unrelated to the actual world.
We are friends, aren't we? We don't just work together, we're friends. This is real, isn't it? Like, we are buds.
Well, it's like, I genuinely have no idea how we'll do this as a live stream when we're all back in this tiny shed.
The thought crossed my mind how we're going to do that. Like,
I don't think we can, unless we just have like the camera on one person's crotch. And then we'll also have to work out how we'd get Duncan in as well. It's very tricky.
Well, zooming was do a zoom with you three crammed around one camera.
It's something we'll have to think about, but I think maybe we just stay doing it from our own homes.
Well, no, because I think Tom wants to touch you.
No, but the stream. I love doing this. This is the new normal. We're embracing a certain part of this year. Anyway, if we carry on like this, it's going to be like self-congratulatory.
Let's not try and get too sincere about this.
It's like masturbation with your left hand. So let's move on.
Can we like a few things are kind of taken as read? You know, the NHS. We don't need to go into it in detail.
Well,
we all appreciate that kind of thing.
We're not always talking about the NHS on our pop culture podcast.
We don't need to get too bogged down in sincerity, because we don't do that very well.
Really hating the government.
Yeah, I love for Brexit as well, obviously.
Yeah. I think we can also say that alcohol has played probably quite a big part in, I mean, we are drinkers. We like to have a drink, so I'm sure we're all right to say.
Yeah.
A nice gin and lemon here.
I'm going with a New Year's mini bottle of Prosecco for this podcast.
Nice.
Yep. Except it's a screw top, so I'm going to have to fake the pop.
Look at this, leopard print jumper and a little bottle of Prosecco.
Yeah, with
what has happened to you?
Hang on. It's not quite the same, is it?
No, that was woefully disappointing.
I can't remember what this is called, but it's by Williams Brothers. It's meant to be a kind of a Noel-y Christmas beer because it's got spruce in it, and it's 7%. Nice. So I'm nearly finished that.
So far, the things that have got us through the year: Zoom and alcohol.
Yep.
Everyone.
That's pretty standard for the country, really, though.
It is, yeah.
That's 2020.
Right. Do you want to get specific with something then?
Yeah, Mandalorian.
On, then. All right, there we go then. Kicking off. Has everyone watched it?
Yes.
Well, I'm spacing season 2 out.
Oh, fucking hell! Fuck you!
Come on, man.
Fucking cretin.
I'm not far off. I'm thinking
I want to do a Mandalorian spoiler special.
We're going to do it in 2 weeks' time.
I will finish it.
Because Duncan can't do it next week, right?
If you don't, Duncan, we will make you join, and then we'll just go through in detail.
The podcast, and we will ruin one of the best moments in the TV series.
I can do it next week. It's the week after I can't do.
Okay, so we'll do Mandalorian spoiler cast next week. Admin. Right, yes. Mandalorian spoiler cast next week. Make sure you watch 2 episodes, because if you're on, we will just ruin it.
Yeah, I'm at the point where the next episode's
No, because there might be people watching that haven't...
Don't say anything, but just make sure you finished it.
Yeah.
Or we'll take you through in painful detail everything that happens, but we'll explain it in a really flat, leaden way that will just suck all the joy out of it for you.
So it won't, because it's the Mandalorian. It's brilliant. I will tell you the other thing. Wait a second about the Mandalorian. Yesterday, and this really helped is like, just because every day still is 2020, we might be at the very end of 2020, but we're still in 2020. We haven't quite got through it yet. And yesterday, when we had taken Philin out on his trike, and there's some mounds at in Helensburgh that it's like little bumps, you just go up and down, and there were some other kids playing there. You did describe the mound,
congratulations.
Yeah, but anyway, screw you guys.
You got up, and then you come straight back down again.
Danny's got that look in his eye. He's going to finish this anecdote no matter how nitpicky you get about it. So let's just...
It's going in the book.
I'm sitting here waiting so patiently as well.
And 2 of the kids running around were talking about the Mandalorian. They were playing Mandalorian and going, right, I'm going to be the bounty
awesome.
hunter.
That's very cool.
I was like, you are like 7 and 8 and you're talking about the Mandalorian. I said, do you like the Mandalorian? They were like, yes. They love the Mandalorian, and it's so easy to forget that we look at the Mandalorian and go, oh, this is so good for adults. This is targeted at 30. It's like, no, blooming kids love this. They love the Mandalorian. They think it's the bee's knees, and they're not talking about Rise of the Skywalker, which is joyful, because they're talking about the Mandalorian as Star Wars as the best thing, and that is a little like bing, well done to it. Well, that's a success. Woo.
How much have you had tonight?
literally this.
I mean, it's not. I feel we shouldn't give 2020 any credit for The Mandalorian. That was all filmed in 2019.
Yeah, and also, but you are 100% correct. It's got us through 2020.
Definitely.
Like there was a point when it got to Taskmaster, and I was like, I think it's probably going to be all right now because I've got Taskmaster. But the Mandalorian
Taskmaster was the
soon.
first thing that I put on my list of things that got me through 2020.
Okay, well, we'll get to that in a second. Sorry, Russ, didn't mean to spoil it.
No, don't worry.
But the Mandalorian was one of those things that like I've got something to look forward to every week, and I was really glad they released it weekly as well.
Yeah, because I would not have had the self-control not to bash through it in one night.
Same with something else that will be on my list.
In so many ways,
fairly obviously.
I am not to be trusted and have very little impulse control. So
yeah, same, especially with stuff like this. Yeah. Like Russ, like I nearly gave away like your email address and stuff. Then so but we were right. So, but it's related to that. But it's we'll go through it later. It's all right. Mandalorian's great. It is truly excellent. Every episode, there was one episode where I went, it was all right, but it was still good. But it's just the others were exceptional.
I mean, so, the worst it has got across both series so far has been, that was really good. Yeah,
exactly. Exactly. So a couple of comments. Someone said, The Dark Shadow has said, don't spoil it, because apparently they haven't watched episode 1 yet.
If Duncan spoils any of it, he'll be executed live on air.
Yeah. We're going to do a whole podcast next week. Don't watch that one if you haven't watched The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Would be what I'd say. But yeah. Paul Edge says, I don't know what's in the beer, but Duncan's gone off the chain, man.
At the end of this, he'll just be like topless and we'll only see him from sort of the nipple down. Fucking thing!
Picked a hell of a week to stop sniffing glue. So
also, I mean, like, a week to quit
flashing back to back when we could actually get together, that normally happened at parties we were having by about 10-15 anyway.
Yeah, Duncan would lose his clothes quite quickly.
Yeah,
particularly New Year as well. We're coming up to New Year, and that might be why it's in our head.
Yeah. Well, so Duncan, I'm expecting a nude selfie from you by about 11 o'clock.
No, don't say it, because you know what's going to happen. He'll send one.
I might not.
Mandalorian, it's really, really good. It's well worth a
phenomenal.
watch. It helped get me through. And as I say, week by week episodes of TV series has been really helpful.
It's been the looking forward to it that's been like it's extended the enjoyment. I've enjoyed an episode of Mandalorian for several hours before I've even sat down to watch it.
It's funny, isn't it, that 2020 has actually brought back the actually waiting for a week before you see the next episode of something.
Yeah.
In this culture that we live in now with the Netflix sort of thing of there's your series, enjoy every single episode if you want to in a binge. Like you can.
That is something I don't. The high pressure atmosphere of Netflix, I don't like. I know a lot of people have a problem with this, like the way it starts auto playing something if you hover over it for more than half a second.
Yeah.
Like you can't just browse through it. Like, well, that one. Yeah, I'll start playing it now. Here it is. Keep going. I'm going to take all the screen away. There you go. You're watching that.
You don't even need to touch it. If you leave everything alone, I'll just dissolve everything away.
You want to watch the end credits? Fuck you, buddy. Here's the next episode. It'll leap you straight. Cut off the end credits. Cut off the start credits.
Don't
just blink and you're on the next one.
I watched the Ripper documentary, the one on the Yorkshire Ripper, and it recommended me a period drama afterwards, and just started playing it. I'm like, sure.
Maybe to be fair though, after some heavy stuff, maybe a nice bit of like Barchester Chronicles, is exactly what you're looking for.
At least
its
its prediction stuff of what you might like is reasonable.
Yeah.
Like Amazon Prime just will not give up on the idea that I want to subscribe to the Premier League. It's not going to happen, guys. Give it up.
No, I get those notifications as well. It's like,
yeah.
I mean,
look at what he's wearing.
Surely everyone who wants to watch the Premier League is already signed up to it.
Like, no, you don't need to. Amazon Prime have the games for free. You don't have to sign up to them.
I'm not going to watch any of them. So like, that's the acres of screen estate that they could be advertising something that I actually want at me.
Oh no, but Amazon Prime shit at that.
I mean, I don't know how we've digressed into the user interfaces of various streaming services, but Amazon Prime's is not great. Absolute fucking worst. All four.
Oh,
it's like
dreadful.
It's like they took the technology. The BBC invented all this stuff with the iPlayer, really, and they kind of licensed the technology behind it, and that's what Channel 4's thing is based on. But it's like they haven't upgraded their UI for 10 years. It's so clunky finding something, or just like playing the next episode or something. Far harder than it needs to be.
Really
Get your fucking act together, Channel 4.
No matter what I watch on all four, it always brings up that naked dating show.
Dick in a
I watched
box.
a couple of episodes. What?
Dick in a box.
No, because I watched a couple of episodes and I'll have watched like Community or something else that's on there. That's how long ago I used it.
Also, do you know what it does? It doesn't remember. So if you watched...
So we are talking about the user interfaces of streaming services now.
We actually move on to that.
Shall I just go on to another choice now?
No, I'm
Just
I'm
quickly-
genuinely interested in what your problem with all four is, because I don't like it.
My problem with all four is that so I was watching through West Wing, started series 1 all the way through, got about halfway through series 3, which isn't one of my favourite series, so I stopped at series 3, episode 10, and I skipped forward to first episode of series 4. It remembers that I have watched some of the series, some of the episodes in series 4, but I am now watching through series 4, but I have to find it manually because the only thing it remembers on the home page is series 3, episode 10. And basically it stopped, because I stopped there and jumped forward to series 4, that's what it shows me. So every time I go back onto it, do you want to pick up where you left off 3 weeks ago? No, I don't actually. Can I go to
the next episode that you started watching this morning.
Can I go back to the one that is actually the one after the one I was watching a minute ago?
Amazon does that as well. It splits everything into individual TV series. So as you're flicking through, you'd be like, oh, there's The Expanse. And it goes to series 3. I go, don't want to start with series 3 though, do I? I probably want to start with series 1. And I probably want a service that just says, you are here. I don't look at things as TV series anymore. I'm just plowing my way through the whole thing.
Yeah.
It is a problem. I get that with because I am usually a while before going back to Amazon Prime. I was trying to find where I was with The Boys, and that took ages because it was, here's the new series, here's something you might be interested in, The Boys, The Boys, The Boys, and it was like, which one is it? I need to click on. I need to find where I am.
You end up with
It's
like
that one.
multiple entries for the same show.
But Emma we had the same thing with all four, where it remembers something like, well, we'll definitely watch that, and it's a number of series. In fact, it's picked up on, because Emma watches the Great British Bake Off, and that is one of the things that do catch up on. It usually picks up the previous series, so it's something that's been watched over a year ago. She's been watching the current series or something. It's a bit annoying.
Yeah, absolutely.
You ever watch the Christmas Bake Off episode? That was really good.
No,
I think the missus did.
No.
Because you're like a man, right?
Rather poke my own eyes out.
Oh, come on, Bake Off is good.
Bake Off shit.
No, Bake Off's great.
No,
it is good.
shit.
It is
There's
Bake Off
absolutely
is
nothing
fun.
to complain about the Bake Off. It is awesome.
I don't happen to like it. You guys are entitled to your fucking opinions.
I'm not as big a fan as I'm not a very big fan of Matt Lucas. I have to say, as one of the presenters.
I like him.
Sandy and Noel.
I do like Matt Lucas, and I think he's good on it. I just think the problem is that his energy is too similar to Noel's.
We're really talking Bake Off. Is this going to last?
Yep, it's happening. Strap in.
Cool, I'm going to get some chips. 1 sec.
Noel and Sandy working together was so good because they're kind of they had that sort of natural tension in their styles. But I think him and Matt Lucas is just too similar. They're both quite, they're whimsical and weird, and they're both great, but it doesn't work as a duo.
No, I mean, to be fair, that's probably what I disliked most about the the David Walliams and Matt Lucas pairing, was that while they were both undeniably very clever and all that kind of stuff, like, it's just a weird pairing because one of them's just weird and whimsical, and the other one just plays up to this sort of camp character the whole time, all the time. That it just never felt like it was a proper comedy duo. I always feel like a proper comedy duo needs something like a straight man.
That's like a classic. That goes back to like Morecambe and Wise and well before that.
And I think Noel and Sandy, Sandy was the sort of very well informed, very funny straight man.
She was the straight man despite being a gay woman.
But yes, exactly. Sorry, the straight person, the whatever. Well, I don't know what the. I think that isn't like that. The straight man is the acceptable
It is,
term
yeah.
for
It's
that-
like
that
it's
role
like
in there.
a comedy term. So yeah, nothing wrong with that at all.
Like, promote Tom Allen from Extra Slice to the main show. Sorted.
Oh, there we go. Very nice. Yes, there
yes.
we go.
He's brilliant.
I like Tom Allen. He's
Right, what was next on that list?
Fuck me, guys. So
Bake Off was a good thing throughout 2020. It's very heartwarming.
it's not right now.
Bake Off
so
2020 got you through.
now you fucking say I'm off talking to the side again.
She's not going
Full
to.
edge on the comments.
Yeah,
Bake Off is the tits. Absolutely right.
Really? I
Yeah,
missed
Dan
that.
doesn't.
Good man, Paul.
I
Good
can't
man.
see
Well
that.
done.
Right on, Paul.
I can't see that, Russ.
I mean, I did not make it up.
Okay. Dan says Amazon Prime. Dan, who's been on the podcast before, says Amazon Prime is the Channel 5 of streaming services. Yeah. It's a
I've
little
never
silly
touched
word
Channel
to
5
use, right?
streaming service because Christ.
Oh my God. Well, it's like, do you want to watch Big Brother from 2015?
Yeah.
No.
CSI Miami? CSI Miami? NCIS? CSI Miami? No.
We did because it's got Fireman Sam on it.
Oh, geez. How do we get back to streaming services? This is my fault. Russ, something got us through 2020.
So we've mentioned it already, but Taskmaster is,
Yeah.
I think, genuinely the best thing that culture and art has ever produced.
It's definitely up there.
It's phenomenal.
Okay.
I mean, it's just joyous. It's so good. This series this year was brilliant, despite the difficulties they obviously had making it and like doing it without an audience. The studio segments, they did have a different vibe to them, but it was absolutely cracking and something that you really looked forward to. And also the podcast that's gone along with it has been brilliant this year because it's been
I've listened to that.
it's Ed Gamble hosting it, who's brilliant sort of podcaster anyway, and it's him. They like dissect. It's brilliant. I was really worried it was going to be just sort of a promo. Oh, watch Taskmaster. Here's 30 seconds of behind the scenes stuff or whatever. But it's brilliant. They get really nerdy about it. He has a guest every week who's a previous Taskmaster contestant, and they talk about that person's time on Taskmaster, and then they like dissect the recent episode week by week, task by task rather. Talking about everyone's performance and just getting ultra nerdy about Taskmaster, which is brilliant. And it's also really heartening to see that all the people that have been on it, they basically think it's the best thing they've ever done, and they all took it super seriously and got super competitive and just absolutely had a brilliant time.
Johnny Vegas is one of my favourites this year.
Yeah,
like he had so
properly
many heartbreaking
heartbroken.
moments. Yeah, and he reacts to them in such a way.
Really good news on the podcast front. They are going back and retrospectively doing it for every single episode of Taskmaster, which means I have to start watching Taskmaster from series 1 in January, which I am fucking delighted about.
Yeah, I'll happily watch Taskmaster again. A couple of comments. Dark Shadow says a couple of things. How else can you catch up with Jane McDonald? I'm assuming that's a reference to Channel 5.
Or you could catch up with her on a cruise ship.
So she's got a CD out called "Cruising with Jane McDonald," and that for me sounds like an Alan Partridge thing, right?
Lynn, Alan here. Got an idea. Just cruising
with Alan
Jane
Partridge.
McDonald. Yeah. Jane McDonald to host a
Sequel to
barn
be
dancing.
Dogging with Jane McDonald and Cottaging with Jane McDonald.
Yeah.
It was fucking terrible. I saw what must have been at least a clip of it on an episode of Gogglebox,
Yeah.
Gogglebox, and it was basically her being taken into a cave,
Mm.
like on a boat to basically sort of like have a look at this wonderful cave while she was in this boat, and they managed to worm in her going, "Oh, the acoustics in here are quite nice. Maybe I could just rattle out, a few bars of this song off my CD." And like literally every person sitting on a sofa in Gogglebox was like this.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
A couple of other points. Dark Shadow also says dull. No, I don't know whether he means us or Taskmaster.
I'll take it on us, because if you're talking about Taskmaster, you can fuck right off.
Yeah, us. Dull. I can totally accept that. Dan says he doesn't even know what Taskmaster is.
Oh, mate, get on it. Seriously. Like, I'm jealous of people that have never seen it.
Yeah, it is so good. It is one of my favourite TV shows.
Channel 4 now got all the series of Taskmaster.
Yeah, well, Paul Edge brings it up that it's on all 4.
I think they bought the whole lot, so I think the whole
did, yeah.
lot of it is now
So you
on
can start
all
from
4.
the start, work your way through it.
Recently moved from Dave. Quite a lot of controversy. A lot more people getting on the Taskmaster train. It used to feel like quite an exclusive little club of sort of comedy insiders.
And you loved that, didn't you?
I absolutely fucking loved it. Yeah.
Yeah. Paul also says you won't regret finding it and watching it. I 100% agree. I really like it.
It's incredible. So simple, but just so pure and joyous and fun.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, Dan, watch it. It's great. I'll talk you through that at some point anyway. Okay, so Taskmaster. We've had The Mandalorian. Tom.
Can I go next?
Yeah.
So I'm going to take one which I know I'm a little bit late to the party with, but I have to say that with these guys as well, off on the side, one thing, a new hobby, I will call it a hobby because it's something that I do regularly now.
Zoom masturbation.
Is left-handed masturbation. Thanks, Dan, for the tip. Appreciate it. No, it's Dungeons and Dragons.
It's not the first time you thanked Dan for the tip.
I'm gonna start off. I'm gonna throw the Dungeons. I'm gonna throw the 20-sided die into there and say Dungeons and Dragons because it has been.
Yeah, likewise.
To it has been immense fun, and I want to say thank you to Dan for pushing and pushing and pushing until eventually I caved in.
Dan's been suggesting that we do this for about 15 years.
It's one of those things that makes sense because it originally started off as like I'd quite like to talk to my old schoolmates, like talk to my mates that I speak to fairly regularly in a group, but I'd quite like to do something in like a group where we can do it. And now it's evolved into something different. Like it's quite a big group as well. It's been quite fun, and yeah, getting you guys on board. And if I'm honest, I have Dan, who is in the chat, to thank for getting me into it properly as well. So through Starfinder, running an excellent Starfinder campaign. So which is something that I would definitely recommend if you haven't played that. But yeah, Dungeons and Dragons it's been fun, and it's been a great way of spending.
That's been absolutely awesome.
And so I will say I'll take, because you're being quite modest here. So Dan says, it's a group of friends all playing together and stuff like that, but I think that actually doesn't underscore the sheer amount of work that you, Dan, have put in, because, of course, anyone listening out there who's even got a passing interest in the things that we do outside of this podcast, Dan is our DM, who has created this campaign.
I created the World of Wildmount.
Okay, fine. You've got a setting, but you're the one that marshals everything.
As the rest of us get through Critical Role, like, hey, fucking nick that about everything that we've done.
Yeah.
He hasn't quite nicked everything. I mean,
I feel very privileged because as you said, it is a bunch of your old school friends, people you've known for a long time. You've known me far less time. We've known each other for maybe 10 years or so, but you've known these guys since you were like knee-high to a grasshopper.
But we're a podcast now.
Yeah. Exactly, but I'm still privileged. You've introduced me to your new friend, to your old friends.
To your new old friends.
Yeah, to your old friends.
It's been a lot of fun.
That's been awesome.
But yeah, so yeah, and as I say, Jamie on here says I miss Starfinder. Yeah, me too. Dan, sort it out. I'm up for that as well.
I cannot tell you how much I have looked forward to having a little bit of escapism and just talking to some other random people and getting to know some new people in a time throughout this year when I never ever imagined that it would actually even be possible. When they shut the office and they told us all to stay at home, I thought, that's it. Like, what the fuck are we going to do this year? I'm a social creature. I love to meet people, but actually Dungeons and Dragons has allowed me to meet and ingratiate myself and be friendly with a bunch of people that I would otherwise have had to have met down a pub, which would have been utterly impossible. Maybe not even until halfway through 2021.
I'll let you into a little secret, Tom. We probably got as drunk whilst doing D&D as we would have done in a pub.
I haven't.
Actually, the other thing is
we can actually... Just a quiet night, was it?
Yeah, we can just... and we can hear each other as well, which is quite nice.
Yeah. It's just don't get me started on how pubs are too loud, because I mean, we're all hovering around the 40 mark, and I think our days of Yates's wine bars are long past us.
Speak for yourself. I'm still. You know?
I agree with Tom. D&D has definitely got us. Got me through. It's been a way of going. All right, what's happening this week? D&D. And Dan, you are a wonderful DM. Some of your creations are right up there with Matt Mercer. So,
somebody wants a magic item dropped in their bag, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Shut up. Look, I think we can all agree. Mar is one
Mar
of the
wasn't even
names.
original though. That's stolen from Community.
Well, yes, but the Great Ragu.
The Great Ragu.
The Great Ragu is fucking legend.
I know the kobolds bit was sort of taken from their brief encounter with the kobolds in.
Well, I just wanted to do the inventor thing.
But that was so much fun, and dire penguins. Who cannot forget the dire penguins?
Well, dire penguins were a real thing from another fantasy creation. All I did was make them real in this. It's fun. That was a fun moment though, but no one knows about that because
I enjoyed our trek through that haunted mansion. I really enjoyed that.
That was a lot of fun. That was a lot of work. I enjoyed that.
That was. Do you know what the hardest bit of the haunted mansion was?
It's getting very detailed for the people that have no idea what we're talking about.
No one knows what we're doing.
Yeah, I know, but the shambling mound. You remember when we had that epic
that was really
long
difficult.
battle against the shambling
The thing just died
inside jokes that nobody knows what you're talking about. They're brilliant, aren't they?
Yes, but we're talking about what got us through 2020. And
Richard on the comments saying, "I don't have cool enough friends to play
D&D."
D&D, mate. That's not what you need.
You just I don't believe that for a second.
It's a sort of inverse coolness where you admit that you do want to play D&D.
It's well, I'll tell you what, loads of people are playing D&D at the moment. It's become a massive thing, and partially down to people watching things like Critical Role, and partially down to the fact that you can do it over Zoom.
And also, thank you very much to things like Roll20.
Yeah.
Beyond, which I imagine make
sometimes
it easier.
Thanks.
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah.
So thanks for being stable for 20 minutes.
And thanks for Dan as well. I want to say that again because Dan really got me caught the bug. So yeah. Paul has said, "Can you all pop this in your respective biographies?" Let's move on, shall we? So,
touche, sir. Well done.
Well, that was really sweet, Tom. I'm going to go something that got me through 2020, at least a small chunk of it. It's an obvious one. It's one that I think everyone watched. Tiger King. Tiger King got me through a small chunk of 2020.
That was way back at the start of lockdown.
It was, yeah. But at the same time, it was one of those things that everyone was talking about. So I watched it and went, I am quite glad I watched this because it is utterly ridiculous.
It's so you sort of hear everyone talking about it. Oh, it can't be that bloody good. And then you put it on after 5 minutes. You're like, I am watching every second of this.
Yes. Yeah.
These people are insane, and none of them should be allowed to own tigers. No one should be allowed to own tigers anyway. That's the big especially not these dickheads. The real victims here are the tigers. 100%. And Carol Baskin's husband. Okay, what? You mean her dead husband that she killed? Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
That she slaughtered and fed to tigers, apparently.
Allegedly.
I actually came a bit late to Tiger King. Sorry, Tom, you broke up a bit there. I didn't realise. Sorry.
Oh no, it's fine. Don't worry about it. I just said that she apparently slaughtered her husband and allegedly then fed him to tigers. Allegedly killed him. Allegedly, brutally, accidentally cut his head off while combing his hair.
The nice thing about Tiger King was because it was covered on last podcast on the left, sort of. The whole trial and up to it was covered, and then being able to properly mirror. If you listen to what they did on side stories and then you watch Tiger King, it all sort of everything it's quite a nice complimentary story. I will put my hand up. I haven't actually finished watching Tiger King either. Because Emma wasn't into it. I put it on, she was like...
Of course, you haven't.
I was going to get through to the end. There's an episode, there was an old episode of Louis Theroux when he went to talk to Joe Exotic as well.
That is right, yes. Very, good knowledge.
I've got a car in Forza. So one of my favourite things is I let Sarah pick the paintwork for the cars. And so I've got a Joe Exotic Audi Quattro in Forza. And it just so happens to be one of the best cars in the game for that particular class. So I'm always driving this bloody thing.
Nice.
It's hideous, and just like, and it's always like over big jumps, so you see the top, and there's a portrait of Joe Exotic on the top of this car.
So somebody actually drawn that in like the Forza editor thing.
I'll take a picture of it. Yeah, but it's and then on the back it says Carol fucking Baskins. Fuck Carol Baskins on the back of it as well.
Nice.
Nice.
The one thing I did take away was they are all basically at the start of being cults, especially Doc Thingy. That
Oh
is
my
a cult.
God.
He's not at the start of being a cult. He is a full-on cult.
Yes.
Yeah.
Didn't he get arrested for being a cult not that
I
long
think
ago?
he did, yeah. Well, no, the L was actually an N, but yeah. Yeah, it's
because he went down the whole sex thing, and
Yeah.
that really goes to the cult. Next, what is it, level 4? Oh, I don't know.
apparently.
Yeah, when he starts talking about like all these young women that he employs and doesn't let leave his ranch, yeah, you're a cult, mate.
Yeah,
Well, he changes their names, doesn't he? So yeah.
Christ,
that's
yeah.
a cult,
I mean,
culty thing to do.
that is deeply fucked up.
Apparently, the rich investor and his wife.
Oh, the guy
yeah.
that like owns the Tiger Park. Yeah,
Yeah, they're going to make a porno, apparently.
look forward to that.
Who needs to see that?
I mean, I'll watch it.
I mean, I'll watch it, yeah. Don't get me wrong.
I won't do anything to it.
Oh,
but
no. Grudgingly nudge one out with it, but I mean, I don't want to.
yeah, grudgingly. No, you don't make of that sort of noise. When you're grudgingly nudging one out, you're just going, oh, well, fair enough, I guess. Yeah, right, there we go.
Right, it's done. Now we're
Fine,
Okay,
you're happy?
I'm going to put the
Great.
shopping away.
Done it, yeah. Go put the shopping away. Just a wet nap. There we go, that's fine.
Throws at the bin, misses the bin, walks off anyway.
Yeah, fuck it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, no, grapefruits, very nice. Anyhow, yeah, Tiger King, good one,
Yeah.
good choice.
Yeah,
That's Duncan.
Random light, shine your light on Duncan.
straight down from your point of view, Tom.
Yeah.
Oh, no, shit.
Yeah. I was going to say, actually, playing a bit of Sea of Thieves. You know, playing a few random little games that I hadn't played before or in a while. So Gears 5, I think I downloaded this year. Yeah, a few games. You know, we're a gaming podcast, so playing Sea of Thieves sometimes, occasionally.
We have talked about them in the past.
I've been playing the Xbox. Some of you have probably played more specific games. I'm pretty sure Streets of Rage 4 came out this. Was
did.
released.
It did come out this year, yeah.
That did get me through a chunk of lockdown because it's like I have nothing else I really need to do. He's napping. I can play Streets of Rage 4, and that was that knocks off a couple of weeks.
Players Blaze, do a back kick, try and pause it just right.
I did play as Blaze quite a lot. I was like,
Blaze,
yes,
she's good in this one.
She is. She's
Nice.
There's a bunch
the
of characters
easiest
that I
one.
hadn't played with before as well. It's that oh Christ, what's her name? She's like the original
musician.
guy's son. Cherry, is that it? She's got the guitar.
Yeah.
She's really good.
Yeah. Yeah. I did play with her. But
Nice.
I did play as her. Yeah, and that was good. Yeah, I know, sorry. Sea of Thieves. Thank you, Dan. It was well worth
I'm not allowed to talk about Sea of Thieves. There's someone listening currently on the chat that I ruined their Sea of Thieves game. So let's just keep that one quiet.
Just like with your personality.
Okay, so
And Gears 5 as well. Gears 5 was a revelation. That is beautiful.
yeah, it's a great game. I shouldn't be trusted with the gunpowder on Sea of Thieves. Is the long and short of it.
And you sunk someone's ship.
I sunk our own ship at the end of like this long trek to get like a load of stuff done. I can't remember. I haven't played in ages. So like for the merchant guild, so like doing like 7 in a row, and on the last one I accidentally hit a button that lights the gunpowder, and I was at the front of the boat and then panicked and just moved around and then blew the boat up and ruined everything.
When I had a ship, I know how to drive a boat. That's the thing. I know how to drive a boat. That is not difficult.
Mm.
The problem is, when it came to Sea of Thieves, I did not know how to drive a boat. I did not know how to deal with my shit properly. So I crashed, and then I couldn't actually get out. I got myself wedged into a harbour somewhere, where eventually everyone left me because I was stuck. And it took firing the harpoons and pulling myself out. And by the time I got myself out, probably took about half an hour, 45 minutes. I was like, screw you all, got myself out. And the next person who joined my crew went, no, we're going to do these missions, because I didn't have a headset, I can't connect up, so I can't speak, so we just sort of typed it out.
You're literally wearing a headset right
it.
now.
Yeah.
Yes, I know, but you need the adapter for the controller or something, don't you?
I don't know. Sure.
It's just got a headphone jack.
Can't you just plug it into the...
No, it hasn't. It's got that weird little... You need the adapter. It doesn't have a headphone jack.
Oh, not all Xbox controllers do have that headphone jack.
No, the older ones don't, actually,
Yeah.
I think. So, yeah.
No, so I couldn't. I have to get an adapter. And eventually what happened was he took my ship. Basically, it was
sounds
my
like it's
ship.
probably in better hands with him anyway.
Yeah, and then it suddenly got new decorations, everything, and we were doing really hard missions. Like, this is not my ship anymore. I'm just going. Bye. But it was good fun. Great game.
So yeah, gaming has been... It's been a fairly big part of 2020. Not as much like... Back at the start of lockdown, when everyone's going, "Oh my god, we're gonna have so much time on our hands." I didn't.
Are we gonna have
not to whinge, but I had very little time I did think, finally, I'm gonna get through that pile of Xbox games. I've barely touched the Xbox this year, but I won't make
too much time on hands joke.
I have played more than I normally would have got to do. I played a lot on the Switch, which has been fucking awesome. Finally got into Breath of the Wild properly. Playing that at the moment. Did Streets of Rage 4 on the Switch. Built a fucking PC. That was amazing, good fun, and I've been doing a lot of gaming on that. So yeah, I've played more than I would have done in a regular year. Still not very much at all, but yeah, much more than I would have done.
I built a PC as well. That was one of the other things that I really got into. Just like,
Dan, did you build a PC? Tom, did you ever know that Dan built a PC?
Dan, let me see if I can
to be
mute
fair, he was
them
quite
selectively.
quiet.
He
Quiet
didn't talk about
kept
it.
Kept that one under wraps.
I didn't have a clue.
so like I
gone.
literally went from not having a clue how to build a PC to knowing how to build a PC and being really into it in the space of about 2 months. And it was probably one of the more fun things I did this year. So yeah, building a PC got me through 2020. And I think Russ is probably the same. This beautiful looking PC behind him as well.
Yeah, it was so much fun. Just like researching it, getting all the bits, frantically tracking packages on various DPD delivery things.
Yeah, and then as the packages
the
arrive,
one,
so many.
The one bit that you really need, like the motherboard, is the last thing to arrive. So you can't really fucking do anything until that turns up, and yeah, so much fun.
Yeah, and all the packaging is always really nice. Like even like the PSU box is always just like...
It's all very much built with people who do unboxing videos in mind.
Yeah.
Definitely. Utterly unnecessary.
Yeah.
And probably adds a good 20 quid to the price. But
now, should I have waited a couple of months and got a 3080 instead of a 2070 Super? Probably, but who knows? There we go, eh?
Well, if you need one.
I will say, watching and listening to you both, well, because you sent us pictures of building a PC did get me through 2020. I was like, especially because I was starting to do my pizza delivery. So I will say, delivering pizzas got me through 2020 quite well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Quite literally.
Quite literally. But yeah, your PC building was definitely...
It's a lot of fun.
I
I would
to-
recommend it to anyone. I think
To
it's quite
segue
good
on
one.
from Duncan's pizza delivery thing, something that's got me through 2020
Turkey sandwiches.
well, no, that was very much a Christmas thing.
Yeah.
But over the course of the year, just takeaway stuff in general
Yeah.
has been amazing. I mean, so back when lockdown first came in, myself and my wife were like, well, we'll probably save quite a bit of money, won't we? Bullshit. The amount we've spent on takeaway coffee alone is more than going to cover my commuting expenses and her season ticket into London and going out and all that sort of stuff. And then add on top of that all the luxury takeaway kits you can get, which have been a constant joy throughout lockdown, especially when you just can't be asked to decide what you want to cook that evening after wrestling the children into bed. So I mean, a few specific ones that I've particularly enjoyed. The patty and bun one, that's amazing, and you get enough to make 4 burgers in the kit, so that's really good. They did like a collab, which is I believe what the Instagram kids call it, with Shake Shack. So you kind of like recreate a Shake Shack burger in your own kitchen. That was pretty good. It's not quite the same because obviously you don't have like a steam oven, but that was good. The Dishoom
These things are like 25 quid each.
They are not cheap, but they are fucking worth it. Also the packaging they arrive in is brilliant. They come in like a box, but it's got like a layer of sheep's wool inside it to keep everything insulated, and then like ice blocks and things like that. Because obviously they're shipping like meat, so it has to be cold.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, that was good.
Fair enough. That's the thing. Cool.
The Dishoom bacon naan kit absolutely saved my life. I mean, all they really needed to send you was their special tomato chutney, but you get like the stuff to make the whole thing. That's incredible. Stick a fried egg on it. If you don't, you're a loser. But like, so aside from the sort of the big national ones, there's a bunch of local ones in St Albans which are phenomenal, and between them have taken about 30% of my paychecks since lockdown started. So specifically, Taste of Vietnam, amazing. Get their banh mi every week, and the proper meals quite regularly. Got their New Year's Eve feast thing. That's going to be amazing. Incredible Vietnamese food. Lime Face, which is Malaysian. That is incredible.
It's Russ after some free meals.
No. I've survived on these things for the last year. Just anyone in like the St Albans area, get on these. Punjabi Shack and Charan Nasta as well do fucking phenomenal things that you can take home with you. Get Charan Nasta's fried potato sandwich thing. I can't remember what it's called, but it's the best sandwich you'll ever eat.
I don't know about you, Tom, but I had a burger box.
I had a McDonald's.
Yeah.
Get on the luxury takeaways. They're amazing.
Get on the luxury takeaways. Yeah, sure. Yeah, in Hemel we don't have them. We have
Nando's.
Yeah. Well, again, we've talked about it before, but it's just a different class of people, it's a different class of society. You know,
do you know what, though? You sit there with your cheetah print fucking jumper on,
the neon
talking
PC.
about a better class of person.
Yeah.
It's not better, it's just different and better.
Yeah, that's true.
We did try.
You're a man cheater, and we can use it, so that is fine.
Man cheater makes you want more.
But yeah, I just feel like there have been real innovations in takeaways over 2020, which has been something to look forward to.
That is the title of your autobiography.
And other tales.
One of my favourite comments so far. The Dark Shadow has written Rustlers for the win.
Yeah, definitely. I was in the Co-op down the road earlier, and somebody had a Deliveroo from Co-op, which wasn't even a thing I realised you could do. But they were picking up, and it was like 1 bottle of wine and 1 microwave lasagna. It's like, yeah, you do you, mate. Classic night in.
And a Mayfair. Just
Mayfair.
No, actually, he's already spent a bit on the Deliveroo. That costs a bit. Razzle.
It's going to be a razzle.
Yeah.
Or Reader's Wives.
You've got to economise somewhere.
I don't think Co-op actually do those. Not that I ever look
Jazz
at
Mags or
shelves
Deliveroo?
Jazz Mags.
Jazz
Mags.
What is it? Richie calls them Rhythm.
Rhythm magazines.
Couple of other points. Dan then says, "Isn't there free-range geese in Hemel?"
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, but the problem is though, like you're going to be the poor bastard that gets neck, aren't you? Like everyone else is sitting there with a breast, and you've just got neck.
I love that Tom Hanks film. So Paul Edge then says Russ knows his a claret from his Beaujolais, and also says Uber Eats Rounders goes to bargain booze.
Nice.
Way to go, isn't it?
Like back in the day, you could just get a taxi to go and get you whatever you wanted from anywhere.
Yeah,
that was a classic. That was a classic way of getting underage booze, wasn't it? You'd ring up a taxi, ask them to go and pick you up a bottle of vodka.
But now
And
you can get.
they're not
Why
going to
did
not
we
give
never
it to
do
you.
that?
But now you can get a
Because
dude with a moped. to do
we
it.
had a tame over 30 who was mysteriously friends with us, who we'd send into the off license.
I was going to say something else, but
Yeah, we want
let's
you to
leave
do
that
it. You're
one
the
there.
only one who's over 18. Now fucking get in there. And then stand
Tame
awkwardly in the
30-year-old.
corner.
This
And
is
don't
not
talk
a
to any of
conversation
us.
for this time.
I have so many
he was the
questions.
he was the
Yeah.
singer in the band.
It's this.
Oh, dude!
This is for another time. We'll talk about this on D&D night.
We'll talk about this later, and yeah.
Right, what's the next?
I was
What's the
going
next
to
thing?
agree. We've actually Emma brought that up, going actually supporting local businesses, trying to do. We don't have that fancy takeaways, but we've tried to split the share the love, because a lot of businesses, obviously, even pubs. Our local pub was started doing takeaway stuff, and their fish and chips were really, really good. So trying to spread the love, because Padroni's we did try and do local. Even though I started delivering pizzas, we still went to the pizza place in Helensburgh, because they've got a better pizza than Domino's.
Dude, you're
It's
food up
just
there
different.
in
Like,
general is just awesome.
sometimes,
So,
you want an authentic stone-fired thin crust, classic Italian margherita, and sometimes you want Domino's, which is basically bread with meat jam on it. But sometimes that is what you want.
Russ, are you hungry by any chance? This has been very food-centric.
No.
Oh.
No, I'm not hungry. Although I did. I mean, we talked about this earlier, but I did have an amazing turkey sandwich from the Smokehouse Deli just down the road for lunch. Absolutely incredible.
Another shout out there.
Another shout out.
Nice one.
Yeah.
That's
another stamp on the loyalty card.
And go to the Fleetville Larder as well.
For
Tom,
quite a lot.
2020. What got you through 2020?
So I was in
The Fleetville Larder's coffee genuinely did get me through 2020. No joke. That's just a fact.
It is.
Okay.
Yeah, I do love a good coffee.
I do like good coffee, actually. Yeah.
And that segues nicely to Tom.
Yeah, maybe.
Does it? How do you know?
So what got me through? Another thing that got me through 2020 was undoubtedly getting my my CBT and my new motorbike, because that has become a hobby. So that started for me. We hired a new videographer, very nice guy called Toby. I'm not going to say his last name out there, but Toby, I know you listen every now and then, and if you're listening today, watching, hello mate, you're the reason that I now am, several £1,000s lighter in the pocket. But he showed up. I think one day. When was it?
Jumped over 8 school buses.
So, yeah. So. Yeah, Toby Knievel. And so, yeah, his name's Toby Knievel. No relation, weird. But it's it's just strange. Changed it by Digpole, not sure. But, so when was it? We got together to film a review just as lockdown restrictions were beginning to ease. And he showed up. So they were easing very, very slightly. Like some offices were opening again, some weren't. That weird point where it started to kind of relax just a little. And he showed up on an Mondial 125cc with a learner plate, and I was just like, "Oh, hello, what's this?" And he's just like, "Oh, it's my motorbike." I literally passed my CBT before lockdown, bought my bike, but then of course no one was around to deliver it. So he's like, "It's just arrived." 3 months after he finished his CBT, boom, motorbike arrives, and that was it. Like I went around it on the car park and stuff, and then. Yeah, booked my CBT. Did my CBT 5 days after my birthday. Had already bought a bike, so it was literally in my garage waiting to be ridden. And yeah, so I'm very pleased to say that through August and September, I had probably the best a couple of months to start learning how to ride your bike on proper roads, because it was sunny. If I wanted to, I could go out in my really light jacket. I had my new helmet, my light gloves and stuff like that. It was really nice, really easy. The roads were dry, they were safe. Although my CBT took place on that day where it was sunny in the morning, and then suddenly on the weekend, on Saturday the 25th, it pissed down. So when I was out doing my first ever kind of riding test, it was just pissing down. And of course I fell off my bike. One of the first things I did was fall off my bike. Didn't emergency stop. and the bike skidded away from underneath me, and I fell onto the floor, and I thought, that's it, no way I'm going to pass for CVT. And the guy was like, he said, to be fair, I kind of expected someone to fall off, but now you've fallen off, I'm not going to make anyone else do any emergency stops. So I'm like lying prone on the ground, like, cool, like, let's do this. Oh yeah, so yeah, and now I have more jackets, I have more gloves, I have more cleaning implements, I have some very cool cleaning from Vulcanet.
Nice.
And I've discovered that things like Rain-X, Nick Wax, and stuff like that are amazing to put on your visor. If a little bit of moisture or something beads up on your visor, a little squirt of that just beads it all away, so it doesn't build up.
I just need that for my glasses.
Yeah, man, it works on your glasses as well. It's amazing. They literally just like a drop of water hits it with the rain, and it all just.
What's it called?
It's Rain-X.
Rain-X.
So Rain-X, but if you get this stuff, Nick Wax visor proof, you can find it on Urban Rider for about £2.
I mean, we're all asking the question, aren't we? Who's Nick?
Yeah, and why have you got his wax?
Yeah,
scraped from his various hollows
all over your
and
face.
bottled freshly.
Yeah,
and yeah, so that has definitely got me through it. It's a lovely new hobby. I love it. I like tinkering with the bike. I like tightening bolts. I like untightening bolts. I like taking the seat off. I like, fiddling around with it, like pretending that I know what I'm doing with the bike.
Well, I'm guessing with a bike you can actually do that.
Yes.
Because with a car, you open the bonnet these days and it's just various computers and sealed lumps that you can't do anything with. You can fill the windscreen washer fluid and that's about it.
Whereas this is basically just a very simple fuel injection engine. It's a single cylinder engine. That's it.
Yeah, nice.
And an exhaust, and yeah, so literally you can just start loosening stuff, taking it apart and having a look. It's a wet clutch as well. So if you take everything out and drain all the oil, all you need to do is put it back together and fill it with oil, and there you go. It's all back together and working again. It's brilliant. It's such a good. It makes you feel like such a man.
Something that we all need a little help with every now and then.
Exactly. Yeah, so it's been great. I went riding today, and I got to say, riding a bike on icy roads, fucking petrifying. It really is petrifying. Every time you take a corner, and of course, because a lot of your weight, because people think a motorbike, 2 wheels, you've got power at the back and stuff like that, but actually, like, where you turn the bike is just a wheel and your handlebars. The rest of the bike is where the engine and the drive is. So actually, if that part starts to shake or wobble or slick, then you're going down. Like, that whole back of the bike is off. Like, that's the bike. Your wheel at the front does barely anything. And actually they say try not to, at high speeds you can't use the handlebars. You have to counter steer. So you have to kind of steer to get the bike to lean the other way, so that you lean round corners. So if you want to go to the left, you have to almost to get the bike leaning. It's really cool. It makes you feel really cool. You feel like you're like on Le Mans, but you're actually going about 22 miles an hour. Like, just round the corner. Yeah. So that's really got me through. Anyway, blah 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 blah.
The Dark Shadow says Angel Wax H2Go is better, apparently.
I'll take that on recommendation.
Okay.
What was your name again?
The Dark Shadow.
The Dark Shadow. You are very mysterious, my friend. Very mysterious.
So rumour has it.
Yeah.
So rumour has it.
Once again, yeah. Anyone got any more? I've got loads, but
I've got a few more.
I'm definitely, yeah.
Yeah, I've got a few.
Go for it then, Duncan.
You go. No, you go, Dan.
No, you're up
It's
next.
your turn.
Anyway. It's your turn.
No, isn't it you?
No, it's your turn. Your turn.
Isn't it you? It's
Your
your
turn.
Your turn.
Just go.
I did have loads, and then just that argument stopped them. All right, so everyone else has these projects. Phil and Learning to Walk basically got us through the first lockdown because we ended up doing lots of walking during lockdown. There was a lot of, where we live we're very lucky. It's very pretty. There's
the aforementioned mounds.
All those mounds. You go
which
up,
became a massive.
you come
And
back
you go
down
down.
Yeah.
And they have become a massive hit. But yeah, Phil and Learning to Walk got us through the
Read
first
all
lockdown.
about it. Read all about it. Come see the mounds. They are a massive hit.
And so, so him learning to walk, and we just ending up walking because the golf course was shut for a lot of the time. I'm just ignoring Dan. And we just ended up exploring the area quite a lot, and walking has kind of, I know it sounds really boring, but looking for new places to walk, sort of exploring more of the various parts of the area, has sort of kept us sane because we're needing to get out. This actually leads on to going and getting sporting places for coffee, because doing takeaway coffee has been essential. But in the recent months, because from the end of January and like December, at work, someone started a Munro bagging hill walking group. So I joined that, and since joining in the last month, I've done 2 Munros. And if no one knows what Munro is, it means it's a height of a mountain. It's a mountain that is higher than 914 meters. And I have done 2 of those, and it is quite a thing to just do. And it means that the last one, there was a lot of snow at the top, which was orgasmic. I love snow, so going in a blizzard basically to reach the summit.
Sorry, guys.
Frosty.
I basically said,
Come on without me.
I said to the boys, I said up there.
So you're in a nice, sincere little diatribe there, but then you mentioned wanking, and we had to just go low with it.
Stay on brand as well.
I was about to say I was going to pump one of them anyway. It didn't, obviously.
Whatever you've got to do to keep warm, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. Fair
exactly. So yeah, taken up a bit more walking, as in the last week, and sort of went and did this one called Conic Hill, which was good fun. Is there someone saying this is really boring?
No, keep going. Keep going, and I'll get to it afterwards. It's fine.
Did you find the egg of Mantumbi at all while you were out there?
I 100% agree with Duncan here. Duncan, you carry on, man.
Yeah.
Walking has been...
Ignore these twats.
Yeah. I'm just going to say, getting out and exploring our area has been definitely keeping us sane, even if sometimes walking with Phil and just ends up going to the sawmill. Sawmills are actually
that sounds
pretty cool places,
insanely dangerous.
Really does.
Yeah, but he just looks out this outside, and this is the reason he's now obsessed with diggers and heavy plant machinery, because he's now able to. Well, I mean, it's only natural, but yeah, walking. Sorry, I know it's not very exciting, but
I get my son now tells me off. He's like, "Daddy, that's not a digger; it's a backhoe loader." Right,
yeah,
fucking prick.
All right, whatever, you nerd.
No, 100% agree. Like getting out and finding places to go. You know, we're slightly bereft of mountains around here, but there's still like quite. Yeah, because before you just went to like parks and things that you knew, but when they were all closed and locked down as well, you'd find out through like various like WhatsApp groups or whatever. So oh yeah, if you park at this railway bridge, you can hop over the fence and there's a path through here and amazing little bit you can go for a walk in and get into the back of these woods or whatever. We found a bunch of things like that, and it's been absolutely amazing. Yeah, my daughter couldn't work when lockdown started, and now she spent the afternoon raving to the Beastie Boys. So
WhatsApp has been revolutionary to Russ's dogging.
Oh, it's so
yeah.
It's just so convenient now, you know.
Yeah.
You don't have to plan in advance like you used to. You decide, yeah, I'm going to go and tug somebody off in a car park, and you can just go. You're straight out there, and you will find somebody. Whereas before, back in the day, there was a 50-50 chance that you'd be standing in the Galleria car park on your own for 3 hours and it'd start raining. You'd be like, well, I'm just going to have to go home and do this myself, aren't I? But these days, you can find an overweight middle-aged man in a Vauxhall Vectra like that and go and tug him off.
Yeah. Well, and also
Thanks,
they'll be happy to stare in through your car window while you tug yourself off as well.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
Oh my God, like dogging could be pretty good for social distancing.
It's also really good for, cardiovascular sort of activity, isn't it? Because I mean, to be honest, you have to go there, and actually, why not double it up and have a nice walk?
Yeah.
While you're there,
Car width roughly 2 meters apart, right?
We're being facetious. Apologies to all of our watchers who are genuinely into dogging. We're not taking the piss out of you.
One on the left-hand side, one on the right-hand side, person in the middle, jacking one out.
I bet most dogging meets, whatever they call them, are probably a bit like chat roulette in that it's like 55 blokes with their trousers around the ankles trying not to make eye contact with each other in the vague hope that a woman's going to arrive.
There's a true story that there's a park roughly in our area that they had to add some extremely bright floodlights to the car park because it was a renowned dogging spot.
Is that Stanborough Lakes?
Yeah, well, yeah, okay, yeah, Stanborough Lakes, yeah.
Which is literally right opposite the county police headquarters.
Yeah.
Is that why they have floodlights at football grounds?
No, it's so they can see the ball.
Back in the day, if the play was down one end of the pitch, if one team was attacking the opposing defenders, they were just at each other.
At each other, just noshing away. And then suddenly the play comes back. Yeah.
Yeah, I love football.
Yeah, football. Yeah. Football.
Ball. Get down the other end. Go on.
Honestly, halogen floodlights have fucking ruined this game.
Yeah. This used to be about more than just football. It used to be about community spirit and fluids.
Go back to a more serious conversation. Russ, video of your daughter and your son dancing was very, very sweet.
Yeah, she's very into dancing. She can't hear music without starting to dance now.
Nice.
You can make her dance whenever you want just by playing some music. She can't help herself.
We've got some
such a failure on that front.
we got some comments on Duncan is walking. Paul Edge says all of these, in fact. At what point do they stop becoming mounds and start becoming Monroes? And also says, don't eat silver snow. That's what I was laughing at. So, yeah.
I did make a comment when we were up on Benning saying, I could have a wank and no one really noticed.
You said that to someone, though.
Your wife
the other
is
person,
so
Mike.
lucky.
Yeah. The person you were with, who you are married to, would notice.
Yeah.
She wasn't with me. I was up with it was a work thing.
Oh, that's fine then. Yeah, if it's a work colleague, just yank your plank. It's fine, isn't it?
I'll tell you what. If I start, will you do it as well?
No, you know exactly how it went. Don't you? He turned to this person and just went, "I bet I could have a wank without you noticing."
The problem is once you've said that, it becomes very difficult.
So keep over there, and I'm just gonna. Suddenly, there's this.
It was very cold.
Acrylic jumpers rustling away next to him.
Static electricity
Tom,
crackling.
It was so cold. It was cold.
I'm
Let's
noticing
face
it
it.
all.
It was so cold. It would have been hard to get any purchase.
We're watching all of Seinfeld at the moment, and we've just watched the one where they have the bet who can go the longest without wanking. And then after 50 seconds, Kramer comes back in and goes, "Well, I'm out," and slaps $100 down on the table.
Lockdown. What got me through lockdown? Podcasts, and podcasts about music specifically, and one podcast about music more specifically called No Dogs in Space, which actually reignited my love in something that I've always had love for, which is music. I'd fallen out of love recently, but just having two people talk passionately about an entire genre of music that I've kind of just ignored a lot, that I knew my family loved, has got me back into music in a big way, and more specifically punk music, which I never thought I'd be that bothered about. I'm wearing my No Dogs in Space t-shirt, as you can see right now, because I'm a big fan.
Nice.
But it's, and specifically one band, The Damned.
Dan, just quick aside, are any of your current active t-shirts not based on a podcast?
Yeah, loads. The Critical Role's not really a podcast, is it?
Yeah, that counts as a podcast.
Is it?
Yeah,
Is it?
hang
on.
Hang on. Some of them. Yeah, there's a couple.
You've got a damn t-shirt.
I've got two damn t-shirts now because I got one for Christmas. The Damned. So this podcast leading into punk, leading into The Damned, I'm now obsessed with this band. I am everything they do. I will sit down and I'll go on YouTube and buy whatever I was doing. Could have been how to come up with an encounter for whatever in D&D. By the end, I'm watching the Plan 9 Channel 7 video for by The Damned, every single time, or live, or an interview with Captain Sensible and Dave Vanian. Whatever it is, I'm now utterly obsessed with this band. And I've listened to the episodes they did on The Damned about 3-4 times. I've listened to the Ramones one a couple of times as well, and I cannot recommend it enough. If you're a music fan and you need a shot in the arm, listening to two people talk this passionately about music, even if it's bands you've never really thought about before, has done wonders. Like they did 4 episodes on Joy Division, and it was A, harrowing, but B, incredible. Just like one of those.
So it's not like 100% punk focused. Yeah,
it is. So they've gone from Iggy Pop and the Stooges. They did Iggy Pop, Stooges, Suicide, The Damned, the Ramones, the Slits, the Misfits, the Cramps, the Dead Kennedys, and now they've just done Joy Division, and they've not said who the last band in the series is going to be. But then the next series is going to be about a different genre of music. But they've done like 3-4 episodes on each one.
Music is something that I'm struggling with a bit at the moment, in just like trying to find anything new.
Just completely. It's the same people that do Last Podcast on the Left. So
I mean, it's reassuring because it's all old bands. So
yeah,
that's good.
Yeah, exactly. So
because as far as I'm concerned, music stopped in about 2015.
It's Marcus Parks and
Carolina Hidalgo.
Yeah, and they're married, but she is brilliant. I mean, she
does all the research in this one.
Yeah.
So like Marcus does all the research for Last Podcast on the Left, which is another podcast I love. But basically, if someone said, Last Podcast on the Left is an incredibly information-intensive but hilarious true crime / aliens / weird things podcast. So if someone said, imagine that, but it's all about music history, I'd be like, yeah, that's right on my street. That is exactly what I want from a podcast. People that absolutely adore these bands, talking about them, and having done a ton of research to the point where they're listening to new music themselves, because they go, right, well, this is Band Magazine. It was formed by someone from the Buzzcocks. And they're like, so I've never listened to Magazine. So then they go listen to Magazine and go, Magazine are fucking excellent as well. So I would say, yeah, if you get a chance, listen to this podcast. You don't need to. One of the best things about it is it comes out every 2 weeks. So like, you're not going to fall massively behind. So like, I am like now just like twiddling my thumbs waiting for the next episode.
They did behind on it, but
they did a whole episode on the bird is the word, and the importance of that to punk music, and how that was one of the most important singles to punk music, covered by the Ramones, covered by the Cramps, and also just like this first song that really kind of like stood out as like a punk classic, pretty much. So yeah,
and they're going to do a whole series on the Shangri-Las, isn't it?
They mentioned it, but they never did. I don't know whether they will.
They haven't done it. I think they will, because they are also highly influential on punk.
Yeah, but they've only got one band left. They've said they've got one band they're going to do left. They haven't announced who it is. My money's on Nirvana, because they've kind of done Iggy Pop, which is kind of punk, to a load of punk music, to Joy Division, which is post-punk, and then that naturally leads to grunge, I think, as well. So I think they'll probably do Nirvana.
I'm going to second you on the podcast, because obviously, having taken technically a second job, but doing the pizza delivery meant that I ended up listening to...
Ideal podcast territory.
Yeah.
And honestly, if you haven't listened to The Damned, listen to The Damned. They are really fucking good. There's a bit of something for everyone. Early albums are punk albums, then they move to goth, then they move to like electro goth, then they move to just doing their own thing. They've always done their own thing. Curtain Call, it's a 15-minute prog goth punk masterpiece. It is unreal, and it is excellent. It's at the end of the Black Album, the original Black Album, by the way, before Metallica released their Black Album.
Yeah. So, yeah. And what I really found fascinating was from Naughty Dogs in Space was that all the bands that you call punk bands never called themselves punk. They didn't want the label. Like the Ramones didn't call themselves punk.
No, the Ramones they associated themselves more with the Bay City Rollers than they did other punk bands. They wanted to be the Bay City Rollers.
Yeah, which was, and the Damned not being, and it's crazy. Like it's
Also, Dave Vanian is the coolest fucking human being on the planet, and I will not hear anything otherwise. He is so cool. His name's Dave Vanian. Like,
I just love the fact that he also is basically the guy who founded the whole goth scene.
Pretty much.
One guy. It's one man
Yeah.
started the Damned and him started the entire goth scene and the genre of goth music that comes from it. Like, without them, you do not get Depeche Mode. In fact, you wouldn't even get Paradise Lost, but, you know, and they're one of my favourites. But you do not. It's one guy and one band, and they do not get the credit. So I'm going to
Dave
Gahan the goth scene splintered into so many other things.
Dave Gahan has said that his main influence is Dave Vanian. So, yeah. Dave Vanian is probably one of the most... I mean, he's originally not one of the best singers, but one of the best frontmen that doesn't get talked about ever. It's unreal. He comes on stage and he's a vampire, and in this punk band, like with all these other people dressed like punks, he's the one dressed like a 20s movie star. And he just said, "Oh, I just used to dress that way." He had his job that he liked. He was a grave digger.
Of course he fucking was.
He just turned up one day, decided he wanted to be in a punk band, so he formed a band called Masters of the Backside with Chrissy Hind, Dave Vanian, and a couple of the other members of the Damned. That didn't work, so they formed the Damned. Lemmy was in the Damned for briefly. He was in a couple of. They're just awesome. Like, seriously, go listen to the Damned. They got me through probably as much as anything. So yeah, the Damned. Cheers.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Podcasts. Woo.
Podcasts in general, just brilliant for things like lockdown. So yeah.
Yeah.
Who's up next?
We've been twatting on for like an hour and 20 minutes now, so
should we go some quick fire?
We should probably wrap up. I've got into YouTube in a big way this year.
Me too.
Yeah. Like, I mean, I always used to, you know, I used it, but I'd never like subscribed or sort of followed anyone. But you know, there's some good shit on there.
There is.
So I've got big into sort of actual YouTube channels this year. I think it's so there's a guy called Aaron Parecki and a guy called Photo Joseph who do brilliant stuff on like photography, videography, streaming, like working out how to do all this shit to get this going. I definitely worked out most of this by watching Aaron Parecki's videos. The Corridor Crew channel, that's amazing. They're like this digital VFX studio in LA, and they just dick around and have fun and somehow make a living out of it, which is, let's face it, what we all want to do.
Yeah, I love that.
And like, also I've got big into like really nerdy. So like, there's a channel called Techmoan, which is like this sort of middle-aged British guy talking about laserdiscs and minidisc players. Phenomenal. Get involved. There's one called Technology Connections. That is about the nerdiest thing I've ever seen. He's just done one on dishwashers. Really? It's so good. Do you really know how your dishwasher works? Like, really?
I watch Maddie. Maddie,
yes.
Maddie Moats. She tells you. She
we all know what you do watching Maddie Moat.
Yeah,
I watch Maddie. That's all.
But how do dishwashers work?
No. This is far better than you get. This is like an hour's video, in depth. He's got a dishwasher where he's cut away the side panel and replaced it with perspex, so you can watch what's going on.
Awesome.
That's what I like about
it's brilliant. Did you know there was a video format that came on vinyl discs?
No.
Watch these videos. It's brilliant.
Technology
Connections. The nerdiest thing you'll ever see. Like, he did like an hour-long special about the subway trains that go around Disneyland and various airports.
That sounds awesome.
It's so good. I honestly watch everything that he does. It's
like
brilliant.
Gamer Nexus. Like, they just rip apart like all these things going, so this is the cooler that's just come out. So we're gonna cut it in half and we're gonna see how it works.
He's done videos and stuff like Christmas lights and how they work, lava lamps, toasters. He maintains that there was this perfect toaster invented in about 1940, and you think, yeah, bollocks, mate, whatever. You watch it and you think, that is the perfect toaster. This toaster is incredible. It's called like the Sunbeam or something. I don't know where you get it around here, but you just place your bits of bread on the slots. They gently sink out of sight, and then they gently rise up again when they're perfectly toasted. It doesn't work on timers or anything like that. It works by monitoring the surface temperature of the bread.
My God,
it's incredible. And yeah, it's been around since like the 40s or 50s. What else? What other nerdy? I imagine since this guy did the video on them, basically anyone that are left have disappeared. There's a video called My Mechanics as well, which is fucking brilliant. And you don't need to listen to it either because there's no speaking in it. But it's this Swiss guy who people send him like lumps of rusted metal that you think, well, that can't possibly be anything, and then he restores them to their original perfect glory, and it will turn out to have been like a 1920s rivet gun or a set of metal shears from 1945 or something. And it just the sort of the care and the way he restores these things is so amazing to watch. It's hypnotic. You'll watch this guy sandblasting something and then machining new bolts to fit into it. It's brilliant.
So I mean, just tacking onto this very quickly, Plasmo Models is a really great channel on YouTube, which is a guy who's probably one of the best scale modelers I've ever seen in my life. And that also is dovetailing onto one of the other things that got me through, especially the first lockdown, not so much the later part of this year, but the first lockdown I did and created probably the best scale model that I've ever done, which was my Panzer I, which is sitting very proudly behind me. And I am going to get it, and I am going to put it on camera because it deserves that time.
Everyone just wait in a sort of reverential silence while Tom fetches his little Panzer. He's back.
And so I watched this guy.
Oh, Tom, you've gone all wibbly just in your moment of pride.
Unbelievable. Your moment of glory.
Panzer III, I think it was. He did it in the Second World War.
Just talking about Panzer still.
Yeah,
oh, no. My internet connection is...
Tom, you're back. Go. Show us the tank.
Am I back? I'm back.
You're good.
Yeah.
Okay, so he did an amazing build of a Panzer III, which is a German Second World War tank. And I took a lot of my cues of how to weather it, how to make a model, like, in a 1/35 scale, look like it has been used, that it's got sort of, marking around, paint cracking and that kind of stuff. And I ended up with my very beautiful Panzer I.
Excellent
Very
work.
Model,
nice.
with all the sort of paint markings, paint cracking and stuff. You can see it across here. Looking weathered. The tank and treads are all properly done. It's just, I'm so proud of it. But it was from YouTube. But yeah, scale modeling, like that was the hobby that got me through some really some of the more tough times. When you had a bit of time on your hands, and it was just something else to think about. When you had a couple of hours at night after Vinny was in bed and Jodie was watching telly, just to be able to sit down at the workbench and crack open a fresh can of enamel paint, huff it for a bit, disappear off on my magic carpet into the future. And then when I came back into consciousness, the gun barrel was painted. It was amazing.
Fuck me, I did a great job. No idea how.
This is amazing. That's it, really. I think I probably will just give a quick shout out. Other things that got me through 2020, the wife, definitely, and Vinny, definitely, because neither one of them seemed to lose any of their spark. And I think if they'd lost any of their spark through the darker periods of this year, I think I would have done too. But they didn't. They kept it together the whole way. So well done to them as well.
Mm-hmm.
And that's me done.
Cool. For me, gaming. I've been fairly regularly.
Oh, and
gaming with a few people, Dan included on here, playing a variety of games. Squadrons was one of them. Squadrons has been excellent fun. We'll have to play that at some point, Duncan. Exactly. I've had one session of World of Warcraft and I really enjoyed it. And I need to get back into it.
You fucking nerd.
Fuck you. So that was really, really good fun. So that coming up with stuff for the podcast, like the variety of podcasts, like the Gridiron Gentleman, doing all the draft stuff for that, and then which took just more time than I've ever put into anything I've ever done. I think was put into that draft stuff. It was awesome. And then things on this podcast, World Cup of TV themes has been excellent. It's still going as we speak. More recently, The Expanse. The Expanse has started on Amazon Prime, and it is so far the best season they've done. And I'm talking about the best season they've done of a TV series that I think is better than any other TV series. This is unreal.
So are you unequivocally putting The Expanse above BSG?
Yeah, and Firefly. No question. Expanse, Firefly, BSG.
Jesus.
No
Where do
question.
you put The Mandalorian?
Just below Firefly.
Fuck a duck.
So the Expanse is.
This season. You say that.
This season is just mind-blowingly good.
It is very good. I'm saving up. I'm teasing myself with this. I'm sort of putting it off like one would put off a cigar.
One new character they've added in this. Like the one thing they keep doing is adding new characters, and they're always fucking brilliant. And they've added this one new character who is just so fucking good. The other thing they do is make you really hate people, but at the same time kind of understand them and where they're coming from.
Well, I mean, the last series was an absolute masterclass in that.
Exactly.
What's his name?
And
Burn Gorman?
Murtry. Yeah, Burn Gorman's the actor. Yeah, Murtry was the guy.
You absolutely empathised with him and also hated his guts the whole way through.
Yeah, you fucking could not stand the cunt. Yeah.
That's good because that's what he's meant to be in the book.
Yeah. Oh no. Yeah. But this
is someone
season...
using the chat because it's just like popping up in the middle of
weird.
The stream.
Oh, but, that was me. Sorry, that was
whatever unprofessional thing we want to pop in this week. Go for it.
Yeah. No, it's
docking sites.
So the Expanse, but yeah, gaming. Forza. I've put another 7 days into Forza. I'm now at a point where they weekly add new seasons. So I go through all the seasonal challenges for the week because I'm trying to collect every car in the game. And that seems like it'll be something that would be quite difficult considering all the pre-order cars. But they do add the pre-order cars back in, but you need to find a way of getting them. I'm up to 660 out of 730.
Christ almighty.
I need another 60 cars, 70 cars, and then I'm done until they add more cars. But I'm playing a lot of Forza, playing on the PC a lot as well, playing on my new Xbox Series X. Specifically started playing Immortals, Phoenix Rising. Really, really good fun.
That's supposed to be good, that.
It's like Breath of the Wild. And also, we've done a bit of it. We did a bit the other day as well, but we did it a lot earlier on. And Dan, if you're listening, Mario Kart. We should do some more Mario Kart, right?
Good times.
That game is so much fucking fun. It's so perfect for just whittling away a couple of hours of just sitting there throwing fucking shells at your mates.
I will just say also, my record against you guys
it's fucking insane.
Is insane.
It's 57-5.
Yeah,
it's not right.
I'm quite good at Mario Kart.
yeah, you are. Yeah. So I need to get back into that. I'm well up for playing some more of that. But just like online gaming in general is something I'd quite like to spend more time doing over the next few weeks, as well as now I need to start getting back into the draft stuff for the gents because we're back to a year after this has been going on for.
Quickly, Disney Plus. It came at right time, and
that came just at the start of 2020, didn't it?
I mean, it came at the start of lockdown. And
is it a global conspiracy?
No, not anymore. At the time, it was like, it was a conspiracy at the right time. It did come at the right time, not just because of Mandalorian, just because they keep on adding various stuff to it, and we haven't used it as heavily. I mean, I've obviously used it for the Mandalorian season 1, season 2, whatever. But we've dipped in.
Muppet Christmas Carol was on it. Watched it in HD for the first time this year. Fucking revelatory.
Who knew you could see Michael Caine's cock?
Turns out, I've been watching it on a 380p download from about 15 years ago. So this was amazing.
I just like the fact that there is a place to go where all the Star Wars films are available to watch in ultra 4K.
All the Marvel films as well.
You open up and it goes Star Wars, Marvel, Pixar, and you think, well, that'll do. That's fine.
Yes, just hit me, yeah.
And you can watch it in beautiful clarity, and you don't have to worry about a thing apart from obviously what we had to worry about at the early start of the lockdown was network strength.
It's fine. It turned out to be fine.
It's good. I mean, I just I've pirated barely anything for the last 10 years. It's been good. All these streaming services.
That's a big thing for you.
Yeah. I mean. it used to be, the only way you could watch a lot of stuff. But
and the only way you could watch a lot of stuff.
Well, yeah. But no,
secret
it's good.
ingredient is crime.
I mean, we watched Hamilton the other night. That is excellent. If you have not watched Hamilton and you've got Disney Plus, do it.
Watch.
What's it about? Neil Hamilton?
Yeah. No, Lewis.
Oh, Lewis Hamilton. Okay.
Yeah.
By the way, F1 was something that got me through the year as well. I got back into F1 this year. Really, really fucking good.
I've not, since it got since you can't watch it all on the BBC, I've not really followed it. But it sounds like it was actually quite an interesting year this year.
Oh, I was going to say guitar playing. I got back into guitar playing this year.
Yeah, I did it
like
twice.
for the first year, like in a good couple of years since like electric kicks broke up. Barely touched my guitars, but this year I've been touching them quite a lot, picking them up, playing them.
By the guitars, do you mean your penis?
Yeah.
Have you been strumming away?
I have, and primarily because I've been playing some excellent video games that have good songs and good soundtracks that reminded me of good songs that I liked. And actually, I will say, one game in particular that absolutely hooked me for a good couple of months was The Outer Wilds. It's not The Outer Wilds, it's just Outer Wilds, because I don't want to confuse anyone into buying The Outer Worlds and thinking I'm talking about the same thing. But Outer Wilds,
it's good as well.
Great little exploration game set in a very cool, cute little solar system where you travel around uncovering a great big like conspiracy mystery kind of thing. It's absolutely brilliant, and I would encourage everyone, if you have Xbox, it's on Game Pass, like for free. Outer Wilds is great, and it has
really good.
Some of the most wonderful music that's ever been put into a video game, if you ask me. Very nice.
It's really good.
Mm-hmm.
Just quickly on video games, playing Among Us with mates. I know it's cliche, and also on top of that, Fall Guys as well. All these things that are cliche, but yeah, Among Us is excellent, really, really good. In the chats, Paul Edge says, before you guys shoot off, just want to say cheers, guys. It's been a big part of my 2020. Watching you four chatting biscuits. He says, I've got twins, 2 years old. This is one of the few things I can keep my eye open for these days. Cheers to you all and Happy New Year. It's meant a lot. Dan says he's happy to play some Mario Kart with us at some point, so we'll do that. We'll get that sorted. And Paul Edge says, in regards to Disney Plus, you get all those glorious options, then you find Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers as well.
I know! That was
there is also a lot of shit on there, isn't there?
Yeah,
I'll watch it. I'll lap it up though. Like there is
Bears and Chip and Dale were the first things we watched.
By the way, they could do more documentaries on The Mandalorian than episodes of The Mandalorian, and I would watch them all.
Yeah, that documentary series on The Mandalorian is brilliant.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean,
what we did was we got a bunch of people who really like Star Wars around, and then we thought, let's do a good Star Wars. Why has nobody got these guys involved before? This is what we've been missing.
There you go.
There we go.
Anything else?
Shall I wrap this bad boy up?
Yeah, do it.
Do it.
Thank you ever so much to everyone who is watching on the YouTube stream right now. Wave, everyone, wave. I was
going to give him a clap. Okay, I'll wave.
Give a clap as well, and thank you very much. Also, genuinely lovely messages from people, and thank you very much for engaging on the live stream as well. And also, thank you very much to everyone who listens to the podcast on Spotify, SoundCloud, iTunes, whatever platform you listen to. We really appreciate it. It's wonderful.
You really validate this nonsense.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, it's just four of us talking bollocks to each other.
You really do. We don't get any money or sponsorship for this, so it's literally just four dudes getting
Russ
together.
Just gets a load of turkey sandwiches.
Russ just gets turkey sandwiches, but that's fine. That's what Russ likes. That's what basically fuels Russ.
If we're going to get something from it, then I'm glad it's Russ. He's put a lot of work into this. So
So thank you for suffering with us all the way through this year, and we're glad that we could raise a smile every now and then, even if it was about Duncan banking on the top of a mountain.
I never did. I told you it was too cold.
No,
maintain the air of mystery.
They would have noticed anyway. Like definitely would have noticed.
Really
anyway.
wouldn't.
Thank you very much for watching or listening or whatever you're doing. If you want to interact with us, please do on social media, Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram using the handle @TMTOOH. There's loads of podcasts, loads of stuff you can listen to. I'm going to say goodbye to Russ.
Ta-ra.
I'm going to say goodbye to Duncan.
Ciao, babes.
I'm going to say goodbye to Dan.
Goodbye, and thank you everyone for putting up with us. It means a lot.
Yes,
Thanks.
thank you.
Absolutely. And it's goodbye from me, Tom, and I echo Dan's comments. Thank you so much. And on that note, let's cue the music.